Have you ever noticed that money feels completely different depending on how much of it you have? I'm not talking about being rich. I'm talking about reaching a point where an unexpected expense no longer feels like a personal crisis. For some people, it's the first time they can pay a bill without checking their account balance first. For others, it's realizing a car repair won't ruin the rest of the month. Most people think financial freedom starts with hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some believe you need $1 million before life truly changes. But the truth is that freedom often begins much earlier.
There is a financial milestone that quietly changes the way you think, the way you work, and the way you make decisions. Not because it makes you wealthy overnight, but because it gives you something even more valuable: options. When you have no savings, every decision feels urgent. You stay in jobs you dislike because missing a paycheck isn't an option. You avoid taking calculated risks because failure would be too expensive. You focus on getting through the week instead of planning for the next 5 years. Psychologists often describe this as scarcity thinking. When resources are limited, the brain naturally focuses on immediate survival. The problem is that survival thinking leaves very little room for growth. That's why building a meaningful savings cushion can have such a dramatic impact on your life.
The amount itself matters less than what it represents. It represents months of discipline, months of saying not now so you can say yes later, months of proving to yourself that you can manage money intentionally rather than emotionally. And that changes your identity. Instead of seeing yourself as someone who is always behind, you begin to see yourself as someone who is building something. That shift is powerful. Because wealth isn't only about mathematics, it's also about behavior. The person who saves consistently develops skills that compound just as much as their investments do. Patience compounds. Discipline compounds. Knowledge compounds. Confidence compounds. Eventually, money starts compounding too. At first, progress feels painfully slow. You save a little. Invest a little. Wait.
Nothing exciting seems to happen. Then one day you realize your investments are generating returns on their own. The growth is still modest, but something important has changed. Your money has started helping you. Instead of relying entirely on your time and labor, you now have assets working in the background. This is where many people experience their first glimpse of financial momentum. And momentum changes everything. A person pushing a bicycle uphill has to provide all the energy. But once the bicycle starts rolling downhill, gravity begins contributing to the movement. Building wealth works much the same way. The early years require the most effort. Later, your savings, investments, and habits begin carrying part of the load. Another benefit appears that few people talk about. You stop obsessing over small expenses. Not because money doesn't matter, but because your attention shifts to bigger decisions.
The choice of where you live, the work you accept, the skills you develop, the opportunities you pursue. These decisions often have a far greater impact on your financial future than skipping a cup of coffee. You become less reactive and more strategic, less concerned with surviving the month and more focused on improving the next decade. And perhaps the greatest change is confidence. When you have a financial cushion, you negotiate differently. You think differently. You carry yourself differently. You know that one setback won't destroy everything you've built. That confidence affects your career, your relationships, and your willingness to pursue opportunities. Ironically, those opportunities often lead to even greater financial growth. That's why the first meaningful savings milestone is so important. Not because it makes you rich, because it transforms the way you see the world. Money stops being a source of constant pressure and becomes a tool for creating choices, a tool for buying time,
a tool for building a future on your own terms. And once you experience that shift, you'll realize that wealth is not a destination. It's a process. One decision, one habit, one investment, one step at a time. Start today. Your future self will be grateful that you did.